want you to imagine that I was to beam you into two companies at a random. So there's two out there. One has a coaching culture as you would see it, and the other one would be typical average company. And you were to beam in and just observe.
Okay.
What would you notice in the one with coaching culture versus the other one?
Okay. So the results driven, which is every organization, because it's metrics driven, breeds fear. Fear-based culture. Once you have fear, I don't know any managers unless I've coached them who know how to coach fear, time management, attitude, mindset, because those are the things that are the most important today. So looking at those companies that have a healthy coaching culture, what I see is full transparency at every level. Everyone is coaching each other. There are no department silos because everyone knows that everyone's intentions are pure. There's a level of connection and engagement that's happening today within that organization. Sales are going up. Okay? I'm so tired of hearing that, oh yeah, it's a different landscape out there, people aren't buying. No. It's not that people aren't buying, it's that they're buying differently. And if you haven't adjusted your sales process to how buyers like to buy, you're set up for failure. So what else makes a great coaching culture? I spoke to a manager yesterday. He said, Keith, I had this great conversation based on what we talked about in our coaching session. And you know what? Not only did it work out well, but it felt really good. Oh my gosh. Hey, managers, check this out. If you're not enjoying your job right now, that means you're not coaching. Conversely, if you are loving your job, that means you are coaching, because I have yet to run into a manager who doesn't want to make their people successful, who doesn't want to contribute to their success, who doesn't want them to see that their career goes through, except we just don't know how to help them. And even though we're coming from the right place, we can't blame the managers, because Paul, and I know you see this every day, is top salesman gets promoted to manager, no training, no onboarding. So what happens? Now the manager is a super salesperson. So now all the reps go to them and say, hey, Mr. or Mrs. Manager, I have this issue. How should I handle it? Manager says, well, I don't know how to coach, but I certainly know how to sell. So I'm going to go in my database and figure out what I did. And then I'm going to say, hey, Paul, this is what worked for me, so you should do this too.
Yeah.
And that's the antithesis of a coaching culture. So the great managers that I work with, that I see, they realize that every conversation is a coaching conversation. They realize that they're not leading with answers, but seeking to understand other people's point of view before they share theirs. They're taking the time not to bang their head against the wall and figure out what's the best incentive to offer. How am I going to hold my people accountable in a remote environment? How am I going to keep them motivated? How am I going to eliminate this sense of isolation and disconnect? You're asking the wrong person, Mr. and Mrs. Manager. Ask your people. That's the conversation you need to be having today. Like I said, the new sales strategy, the new leadership strategy is care. And that's what everyone wants, including your customers.